There are lots of things all around us, exciting things that surround us.
But how does it work?
Do you know?
How is it made?
Do you know? Things that go up, things that go down, things that go pop, things that go round, with special cameras to show you inside. It's going to be a big surprise.
But how does it work?
Do you know?
How is it made?
Do you know? Do you know?
Let's find out!
Hello, I'm Maddie. Today I've got some things I want to recycle, so I've come to the recycling bins. There are lots of things we can recycle, like these old plastic bottles, paper and cardboard, and glass, like this glass jar that had jam in it. But what happens to glass when it's been put in the glass recycling? And how does an old jam jar get turned into something new? Do you know how glass recycling works? Let's find out. How does it work?
Glass recycling.
To find out how glass recycling works, I've come here to a gigantic glass recycling factory. Glass is collected from recycling bins by big lorries like this one here, and it's all dropped off here at the yard. Listen to all the glass falling out of the recycling lorries. In the yard, there are 3 huge storage bays. 1, 2, 3. And together, they can hold around 3,000 tons of glass. That's the same weight as 157 double-decker buses. The glass is picked up from the storage bays by big diggers. Isn't that amazing? The digger tips the glass into that giant bin. It's called a hopper. There it goes! The hopper is connected to a conveyor belt. Not everything that arrives at the glass recycling factory is glass. There are other things that get muddled up with the glass too, like metal, plastic, stone, dirt and rubbish. We call these things contaminants, and it's the job of the glass recycling factory to separate the contaminants from the glass. Let's find out how they do it. This is called a screen. Can you see it's made of lots of metal rods with gaps in between? And it works a bit like a sieve. When it jiggles around, all of the small pieces fall through onto a conveyor belt below. And the big bits keep on going down that chute. All of the big bits drop into this machine. It's called a crusher. And inside, everything is crushed, so it's the same size as the smaller pieces. All the glass and contaminants come back together. Can you see that some of the small pieces are bouncing around? This makes all the pieces move along to the next machine. This is called an extractor, and it works like a vacuum cleaner and sucks away any of those light contaminants. But it's pretty tricky to see, so I think we should film it with one of my special cameras. This camera films in slow motion, which means we can film something that happens quickly, but watch it back slowly. Whoa! And look! All of the light contaminants, like little pieces of plastic, are being sucked away, leaving the glass behind. The glass doesn't get sucked up by the extractor because it's heavier and it continues on its journey. Now the glass is almost clean of contaminants. There's just some little bits of stone, brick and ceramic. Things like kitchen plates and mugs to get rid of. This is an optical sorting machine, and it gets rid of stone, brick and ceramic using its own special camera. But to find out how it works, I think we need to take a closer look.
Glass and contaminants move along a conveyor belt into the optical sorting machine. A light hits the conveyor belt so the camera can see the object. The camera takes a picture of the object and sends it to a computer. The computer can tell the size and colour of the object and whether it's glass. When the computer finds a contaminant, like stone, it sends a signal to an air jet inside the machine to blast it away. Now all that's left is the glass. Another optical sorting machine separates the glass into different colours. First, the computer looks for green glass, then sends a message to the air jets to blast it into the green bin. Once the green glass is gone, another optical sorting machine finds clear glass, called flint, and blasts it into the clear bin, leaving just the brown glass called amber.
Wow, that was so interesting. Here's all the green glass that's been separated. It's like a waterfall.
Look, there's all the amber glass. And the clear glass too. It's called flint.
Now the glass has been cleaned and sorted, it's ready to be used again and made into something new, like a jam jar. I loved finding out about how glass recycling works. What was your favourite part?
Do you remember the name of the machine that uses light to find things that aren't glass? That's right, it's called an optical sorting machine. Did you hear the sound of the glass as it was tipped out of the big recycling bin? Did you see how the extractor sucked all the light contaminants off the conveyor belt on the special camera? We use recycled glass in lots of different ways to make lots of different things, like glass jars. You can store lots in a glass jar, like honey, pickles, cookies, or as a special treat, you might have jam. Jam comes in lots of different flavours. Do you have a favourite? Mine is strawberry. Strawberry jam is made from strawberries. But how do strawberries or other fruit like blackberries or raspberries get turned into a thick jam you can spread on toast? Do you know how jam's made? Let's find out. How is it made?
Jam.
To find out how jam's made, I've come here to a jam factory. Today they're making raspberry jam. Today we're making one batch of raspberry jam, and that's about 160 jars, so we're going to need a lot of raspberries.
To make the jam, we also need sugar and lots of lemons. This is James, and it's his job to make the jam. James starts by weighing the lemons.
After the lemons are weighed, they're cut in half and squeezed to get all of the juice out, and I've been given special permission to help. So let's have a go at using this juicer. Thank you. Right, ready? Wow! The machine spins round and round, and look, can you see all of the juice flowing out of the spout here at the bottom? Lemons are really sour, and that's because they have something in them called citric acid. And it's the citric acid that gives them the sour taste. And nothing is wasted because we're going to use the lemon peel too.
Next, James weighs out the raspberries. Here, they use frozen raspberries. He also weighs out the sugar.
And now it's the fun part. We're going to heat everything up inside this, a boiling pan. Looks like a giant cake mixer, doesn't it?
At the moment, the boiling pan is switched off. First, into the boiling pan goes the raspberries.
That's a great splattering sound, isn't it?
Next, the lemon juice and the lemon peel.
The lemon peel
is really important because it's got something special in it called pectin. And when pectin heats up and mixes with the water from the frozen raspberries and the citric acid from the lemon juice, it acts a bit like a fishing net or a web, helping to catch the other ingredients. And it's what makes the mixture thick and sticky. It takes about 15 minutes for the jam to cook, so I've set up one of my special cameras to film everything. That way we can watch it back and speed everything up. Now you should never go close to a hot pan, but I've got special permission to show you what happens to our jam. Can you see the ingredients spinning round and round and mixing together? Now the sugar is added. And look, the jam is starting to cook. The boiling pan heats the ingredients to 100 degrees. That's really, really hot. The jam mixture still looks watery and runny, doesn't it? So how does it get thick and gooey like jam? Well, the water inside the jam mixture is heated up by the boiling pan and it turns into water vapour or steam. We call this evaporation. Evaporating and the steam is misting up our camera. As the water evaporates, the jam starts to get thicker. All there is to do now is take out the lemon peel. The jam's nearly ready, but to test to find out if it's thick enough, I've got to do something called the plate test. So there's a blob of jam on the plate and it's cooled down. And if it's the right thickness, it should make little lines called wrinkles when I push it. Should we find out? Okay, let's see. Oh, there you go. Lots of little wrinkles. So this is ready. Do you know what's making those wrinkles? It's the special chemical we find in the lemon peel called pectin. The jam is ready, so it's time to put it into jam jars. The jam is poured into here. It's called a hopper. The hopper is cone-shaped, so the jam will go to the bottom and then flow through the tubes to this machine called a depositor. And its job is to fill the jam jars. And just the right amount comes out each time to fill one jar. The lids are put on the jam jars when the jam and the air around the jam is still hot. But as everything cools down, it shrinks. And that leaves space inside the jar. So when we undo the lid, air can rush in, and this makes the jam jar pop up, and it sounds great. Listen to this. That sounds really good, doesn't it? I loved finding out how raspberry jam's made. What was your favourite bit? Do you remember the name of the special chemical that makes the jam thick? That's right, it's called pectin. Did you hear the sound the raspberries made as they tipped into the boiling pan? And did you see the ingredients being mixed together on my special camera? So the next time you have jam as a special treat, you'll know how it's made. And when you see a glass jar, you'll know how lots and lots of glass has been recycled to make it. I'll see you next time.
There are lots of things